So it's 11:30. I got down here about 8 o'clock this morning, and it has taken me 3.5 hours. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. To take this blade down to looking like this. Let me turn that light on and see if I can get a better. Oh, my light's not working. Huh. Sorry, I know I'm probably making you dizzy, but I think my battery's dead on my camera light. Alright, I got a little more. I'll tell you what, let me try turning off these lights and this other light. Maybe that's better. I got a spot here I got to rub out, and up here. Getting close, getting close. So 3.5 hours of rubbing to get it this far. And the reason is, first of all, let me turn this over and show you what I started with. Well, I'm having a hard time getting this thing to... There we go. And that is 40 grit right there. And the reason I had to... I'm out of 120. I usually go from 40. Actually, I usually start with 80. It takes a little longer, and I go through more belts, but I go from 80 and then to 120. And then from 120, I go to hand sanding. And but I'm out of those belts. I didn't know I was out of them until I went to get a new one this morning. So I had some 40 belts. I went from 40, and that's it. I've been hand sanding it ever since, and it has taken me 3 hours to go from 40 grit to 180 grit. And that's another thing I realized. I have some 100 grit sandpaper, but it's absolute crap sandpaper. And I was using it up until I, got rid of it, and then I'd buy some good stuff. But I'm just going to buy some good stuff, throw this away. It's not even wet sandpaper. You can't use water with that. And water is what makes this... Why are you so... What the heck is going on? Huh. I do not know what's going on with my camera. Anyway, water is what makes this a little easier. So I'm almost there. Another 3 or 4 hours, and I'll have this blade all looking like that, which is 180, and then from 180 I go to 220. It's coming together. I thought I would actually get to heat treat and temper this today, but that's not going to happen. Hey, if you want a knife vise, oh, by the way, in the description of every video now, I'm going to have my PayPal address. If you want a knife, or you're going to pay me for a knife, or if you want a knife vise, that's the address. That's a PayPal address you use. So there you go. If you want a knife vise like this, $140 to my PayPal, gets it shipped to your door. All right, 4 hours, and it is now sanded up to 180 on one side. Here's the I started on the other side. And here's a mental note to myself. I always scribe where I want my lines to end up, and I use a scriber. What I do is I put some layout blue Dicom on this. Where is my Dicom, by the way? Where is my Dicom? Okay, yeah, there we go. And then I take my scriber and a rule, and I scribe where I want my lines to go. And then on this edge, I scribe the center so my bevels will, be even. So what I realized that when I scribe really deep, that's just one more line I got to sand out. I got it sanded out here, but now I got a little bit of scribe line left right there that I got to sand out. Not a big deal. It's just every time I make a knife, I make a mental note on something I'm going to do differently next time to, make a difference in time or quality. Okay, let me get, I'm going to finish this side before the day is out, up to 180. I hope. I got to go pick Billy up at 3:30, so I'm hoping I can have this done before then. Because normally when when I leave, I shut the shop down and shut everything off and close the gate, and it's the end of the day because I start really early. I get up most of the time about 3:30, 4, sometimes 12:30 because I can't sleep or something hurts. If you're old, you know what I mean. Once something wakes you up or pain, just get up and get it over with, because you ain't going back to sleep. And the longer you try to lay there and go back to sleep, the madder it's going to make you. So just get up and start your day. All right, let me get to sanding on this side. All right, second side. And I got all the scratches rubbed out except two very stubborn scratches right there. But for some reason, this side I rubbed this side out quicker than the other side, like less than half the time. I don't know what the difference is. Actually, I do. On the other side, I had a little whoops, and the scratches went up into the flat part that I don't have a bevel ground on. So it took a long time for me to blend those scratches out of there. That's where hours of that time went. Well, at least an hour. And this side went a lot quicker. So I think I'm probably going to get this up to 180 today. Then I'm going to stop, and I've still got about an hour and a half or two before I got to pick up Billy at the bus stop. Then I'm just going to clean the shop up. I got to do that anyway. Man, that is one stubborn scratch. And the thing is, at this point, your brain starts playing that game on you, trying to convince you to go on, move up to the next grit. You can sand that out with the next grit. And through experience, I know that if you can't sand it out with this grit, the next grit is absolutely not going to sand it out. But anyway, I think I got this much paper left, and when I get into the plunge line like that, what I do is I use the edge of this, because I get right up in there real close to it. And the plunge line is always the hardest. And I work from this part of the blade, from the tip up, and by the time you get here, your arms are so tired, and it's real easy to convince yourself to go to the next grit. And when I get to the point where I'm just about ready to give up, I just stop, come back the next day, or take a break and do something else. But do not move to the next grit. I'm telling you, if the grit you're using won't sand out a scratch, the next grit absolutely positively won't sand it out. So keep on, keep after it. I'm mostly talking to myself here. I'm giving myself a pep talk. A couple more minutes, we'll have it outlined. It's still there. Let me see if I can get this in a light where you can see it. Well, it's not coming out in the camera, but it's still there. And there you go. You see it? Not much. I'm going to get it, though. Still getting after it. All right. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I never imagined it would take me this long to get it sanded up to 180. I got the next grit, 220, and I'm stopping for the day. That's my bucket of sandpaper. That's what it's taken me to get to that degree. I'm going to stop for today and clean all my benches off and sweep up in here. Y'all know I have dogs that come in and out. Hell, Breezy, he stays in here with me all day. And I try to keep the floor cleaned up where they won't step in any little bits of metal and get it stuck in their pads. So there's all the wood I cut up yesterday. I was looking at the Really cool stuff. I still got some really nice figure here. This is awesome. Good looking wood. I'm happy I cut it into the sizes that I did. It's the perfect size. Okay, let me get to clean it up here.